When Ethan was 16, his mother told him to get a summer job. He said, okay, and then he went upstairs, opened his laptop, and spent the next 4 months building a business that would gross $1.2 million before he turned 19. His mother is still not entirely sure what he does. And the thing that makes Ethan's story worth an entire video, the thing that should genuinely stop you, is not that he's a prodigy. He's not. He will tell you that himself, almost aggressively. He wasn't a straight A student. He didn't have a trust fund. He didn't have parents with business connections or a mentor who handed in the blueprint. What Ethan had was a specific kind of attention. The ability to notice a gap between what people needed and what they could easily get. And then the willingness, not the skill, not the experience, the willingness to try to fill it. That's it. That's the whole thing. My name is Daniel, and today we're going into the real mechanics of how a teenager builds something worth $1 million, not as inspiration content, but as a genuine breakdown of what they actually do differently, with the real numbers, the real mistakes, and the specific patterns the research identifies in young entrepreneurs who make it past the first year. Because the gap between the ones who make it and the ones who don't is not talent. It almost never is. The business nobody took seriously. Ethan noticed something at 16 that every adult around him had stopped seeing. Local small businesses in his town, the barbershop, the pizza place, the family-owned gym, were losing customers not because their product was bad, but because their online presence was invisible. No updated Google listing. Instagram accounts with blurry photos posted 3 years ago. No response system for online reviews. His neighbor's barbershop had 47 5-star reviews and a Google Maps listing showing hours that had been wrong for 2 years. People were showing up when it was closed. People were driving past it without knowing it existed because searching for barbershops in the area surfaced competitors with better managed profiles. The barbershop wasn't losing on quality. It was losing on visibility. Ethan knocked on the door, asked if he could fix the Google listing and update the photos for $75. The owner said, sure. Mostly, Ethan suspected, to get rid of him. He fixed the listing in an afternoon, updated the hours, uploaded 12 new photos he took on his phone, responded to the 3 unread reviews that had been sitting there since 2022. 3 weeks later, the owner told him that foot traffic had noticeably increased and asked what else Ethan could do. That question is where everything started. The pattern every successful teen entrepreneur shares. Before we go deeper into Ethan's story, here's what the research actually says. Because stories without data are just anecdotes, and anecdotes don't scale. A 2023 study from the Kauffman Foundation, examining young entrepreneurs who reached 6 figures before age 21, identified 3 patterns that appeared in virtually every case. First, they solved the problem they personally understood. Not a problem they researched in theory, a problem they had encountered, watched someone encounter, or noticed repeatedly in their immediate environment. The proximity to the problem reduced their learning curve dramatically. Second, they started with almost no capital. The median startup cost for the successful young entrepreneurs in the study was $340. $340. Not a loan, not a grant, money they had or could earn quickly. The constraint forced creativity and eliminated the option of throwing money at problems rather than thinking through them. Third, they found their first 10 customers through direct personal contact, not advertising, not social media campaigns. They knocked on doors, sent personal messages, asked people they knew to refer them to people they didn't. The first 10 customers for virtually successful young business in this study came through direct human interaction. Ethan hit all 3. He understood the problem because he had watched local businesses lose customers to competitors who simply managed their online presence better. He started for almost nothing: his phone, a free Google account, and $0 in upfront costs. And his first clients came entirely from knocking on doors in his own town. How $75 became $2,000 a month. Here's what happened after the barbershop. Ethan realized, somewhat accidentally, that what he had done for $75 was worth significantly more than $75. Not because the task was complicated, because the outcome was real and measurable. He went back to the owner 2 weeks later with a printed summary: new photos uploaded, hours corrected, 3 customer complaints about wrong hours and reviews now resolved. Google ranking for barbershop near me searches moved from position 11 to position 4 in 6 weeks. The owner showed the summary to his friend who owned a sandwich shop 2 streets over. The sandwich shop owner called Ethan the next morning. This is the moment most people miss. Ethan didn't have a service yet. He had done one thing once for one person. But instead of waiting until he had a polished offering, a logo, a website, a name, instead of doing all the things that feel like preparation but are actually procrastination, he said yes to the sandwich shop. He said yes before he was ready. And then he got ready. By month 3, he had 6 clients paying between $150 and $350 per month for ongoing profile management, updated photos, review responses, listing maintenance, basic monthly reporting. His monthly revenue, $1,400. He was 16. He was making more than most entry-level jobs pay, and he was doing it in roughly 10 hours per week. The first big mistake, and why it made him more money. At month 4, Ethan made the mistake that almost every young entrepreneur makes. He said yes to too much. A restaurant owner asked if he could also manage their Instagram account. Ethan said yes. He had never managed a professional social media account. He figured he'd learn. He didn't learn fast enough. The content was inconsistent. The posts were mediocre. The restaurant owner was polite but unimpressed, and after 2 months, they let him go. Not fired dramatically, just not renewed. Ethan lost a $300 per month client. And then he did something that separated him from the people who quit. He called the restaurant owner and asked for a specific explanation of what had been wrong. Not to defend himself, not to save the contract, just to understand. The owner told him the photos looked unprofessional, the captions had no personality, and the posting schedule was inconsistent. It didn't reflect the restaurant's actual vibe. Ethan took notes, literally. He wrote everything down. Then he spent the next 3 weeks watching every tutorial he could find on small business social media. He hired a friend, $50 for a Saturday afternoon, to take proper photos at one of his existing clients' locations. He created a content calendar template. 6 weeks after losing the restaurant, he called them back, showed them the template, showed them examples of what the new approach would look like, offered 1 month free. They said yes. 3 months later, they referred him to 2 other restaurants. The failure produced 3 clients. The failure was the turning point. This scaling problem nobody tells you about. By month 8, Ethan had 14 clients. His monthly revenue was $4,200, and he was drowning. He was spending 35 hours per week on client work, on top of school. He was missing deadlines. He was making errors. He was in the honest private assessment he made in his journal at the time, on the verge of losing everything he had built because he had become the bottleneck in his own business. This is the wall that stops most young entrepreneurs. The business grows until it outgrows the one person running it, and then it either contracts back to a manageable size, or the person running it figures out how to stop being the only person running it. Ethan figured out the second one. He hired his first employee, a classmate who was organized, detail-oriented, and willing to work for $12 per hour to handle the review response and listing maintenance work, the stuff that was time-consuming but didn't require creativity. Cost approximately $600 per month. Time freed up roughly 15 hours per week. What did Ethan do with those 15 hours? He sold. He knocked on more doors. He refined his pitch. He focused on acquiring new clients rather than servicing existing ones. 3 months after hiring his first employee, his client roster had grown to 22. Monthly revenue, $7,400. He hired a second person, a friend who was genuinely good at photography and content creation. Same structure, hourly, part-time. The business was no longer Ethan doing everything. It was Ethan managing systems and people while others executed. At 17 years old, he had employees. He had a paywall. He had something that ran imperfectly but genuinely without him being physically present for every task. What $1 million actually looks like. Here's the part that surprises people when they hear Ethan's story. The $1 million number did not arrive as a single moment. There was no single contract, no single viral post, no single deal that changed everything overnight. The $1 million arrived because Ethan ran a business generating between $8,000 and $14,000 per month for approximately 3 years. Cumulative revenue across that period, just over $1.2 million. Monthly. Consistent. Growing slowly and then quickly as referrals compounded and his systems improved. And here's what's important about that number. $1.2 million in revenue is not $1.2 million in his bank account. There were employee costs, software subscriptions, occasional equipment, taxes, which hit Ethan harder than he expected the first year, and which he describes as the most expensive education he ever received. His actual profit margin stabilized around 55 to 60% once he had proper systems in place. On $1.2 million in revenue across 3 years, his personal take-home was approximately $650,000 to $700,000. At 19 years old, without a college degree, without a loan, without a single investor. Starting from a $75 afternoon at a barbershop. The specific things that made the difference. Let's be precise, because inspiration without specifics is useless. Here is what Ethan did that most people who try to start businesses don't do. He charged before he was confident enough to charge. Every pricing conversation felt uncomfortable. He did them anyway. He raised his prices twice in the first year, once from $150 to $200 per month for new clients, and once from $200 to $280. He lost 1 client each time. He gained 6 in the same period. The discomfort of the price conversation cost him nothing. The failure to have it would have cost him everything. He tracked everything in a spreadsheet from month 1. Revenue per client, time spent per client, profit margin per client. He knew which clients were profitable and which were consuming more time than they were worth. He dropped 2 clients in the first year, not because they were difficult, but because the math didn't work. That freed up capacity for clients who did work. He treated every mistake as data. The restaurant that fired him became a case study. The client who gave negative feedback became a product improvement. The month where his revenue dropped because he lost 2 clients in the same week became the motivation to build a referral system, so he was never dependent on any single account. He told his story simply. When he pitched new clients, he didn't talk about digital marketing strategy or social media optimization, or any of the language that sounds impressive and means nothing to a barbershop owner. He said, "I help small businesses show up when people are searching for them online. I've done it for 14 businesses in this area. Here are the results. Would you like me to show you what your current profile looks like? Simple, local, specific, proof-based. That pitch closed at roughly 1 in 3 in his first year without any sales training. What Ethan would tell you. I want to be honest with you about something before we close this out. Ethan's story is real, but Ethan is not the only version of this story. He is one data point in a pattern that repeats across every industry, every skill set, every type of small business service you can imagine. There are teenagers managing social media for local businesses. There are teenagers building e-commerce stores around products they genuinely understand. There are teenagers doing video editing for content creators, managing online stores for small retailers, writing email newsletters for professional service firms, building websites for local restaurants. None of these businesses require a business degree. None of them require significant startup capital. All of them require the same thing Ethan had: the ability to notice a gap, the willingness to offer to fill it before feeling fully qualified to do so, and the discipline to show up consistently once someone said yes. The research from the Kauffman Foundation found that the highest predictor of young entrepreneur success was not intelligence, not resources, not access to networks. It was what they called action orientation, the tendency to move from identifying an opportunity to attempting to execute on it without waiting for certainty. Ethan moved before he was ready. Before the logo, before the polished website, before the confidence, he moved. And the movement created the education that waiting never would have. Back to his mother. Ethan's mother still asks him, occasionally, to explain what he does. He tries. She nods and smiles in the way parents smile when they're proud but genuinely lost. What she does understand, because the evidence of it is impossible to miss, is that her son, who she told to get a summer job, bought a used car in cash at 17, opened a Roth IRA at 18, something she had not done until her 30s, started investing $1,500 per month at 19 into a broad index fund, and turned down a college offer, not because he dropped out, but because he was already running something real and couldn't figure out what school would give him that he didn't have. She worries sometimes that he's missing something: the experience, the friendships, the structure. He probably is. He would tell you that honestly. But he's also doing something that most adults, working full-time, doing the responsible things, paying their bills on time, have not yet figured out how to do. He is building something that works without him being the only engine inside it. He is 19. The engine is just getting started. And it began with a $75 afternoon and a barber shop with the wrong hours on Google. That's all it took. That's all it ever takes.